YouTube family, what's the business? What's happening with y'all? It's Friday. You made it through the week, and you deserve to watch some of my content. So, this video is going to be a somewhat of a continuation of the video I made about Tupac Shakur's Real Killer. Now, who are we looking at in this picture here? We got Frank Liga to the left, the white gentleman. He is a detective that has worked for the LAPD for an extremely long time. He has a lot of experience under his belt. And then to the right, we have our buddy, Mr. Kevin Gaines, who is no longer here. And the reason why he was no longer here is because of the gentleman to the left. Kevin Gaines was, in my opinion, and also if Frank Liga was to tell the truth, he was intentionally assassinated 9 days after Biggie was murdered. And might I say that Mr. Kevin Gaines was actually present when Biggie was murdered at the Automotive Museum. Outside, he was there with David Mack. He's actually on video. You can find it on YouTube. If you search it, you can find it. David Mack, Kevin Gaines, Peterson Automotive Museum. You will be able to find it. It's crazy how after all this stuff, like all this time, all this information, comes out, and it was right there the whole time. So, but we're going to talk about how Kevin Gaines murdered the true killer of Tupac Shakur. Now, mind you, he was the person that pulled the trigger. We're focusing on Kevin Gaines as the person that pulled the trigger. We know that there were co-conspirators who were above him. We know that. We're not focusing on them right now. There's multiple people that are also involved, but Kevin Gaines had to be the mercenary. He had to do the dirty work because that's what his job was. That's what he was there for. Frank Liga, he spins a story. He's doing an interview on Murder Rap YouTube channel right now where he goes over the event that led to him murdering Kevin Gaines. He just so happened to be behind Kevin Gaines, a police officer, just like he's a police officer at this time. And they just so happened to get into a road rage incident where he doesn't know that Kevin Gaines is a cop. And Kevin Gaines was throwing gang signs up to Mr. Frank Liga, and he pulled a gun, and Frank Liga just so happened to shoot the black guy that was the black police officer who was a so-called gang member. He thought he was just a gang member, and he had to kill him, and it was a justifiable homicide. Now, they spun this when it happened as a white cop killing a black cop, which added to what was going on with the LAPD at that time. They were just dealing with the Rodney King situation, O.J. Simpson. It fit the narrative of the time. They want you to believe that it was just a racial thing. White cop killing a black cop. White cop thinking that this black man was in this green car, green SUV, bumping loud music, throwing up gang signs and listening to gangster rap, and that's all there was to it. He spins the story, Mr. Frank Liga here spins the story that, Mr. Kevin Gaines was staring at me, he was mean-mugging me, and when I asked him who he was looking at, he started to throw gang signs and say, I'm going to bust a cap in your ass. I'm going to bust a cap at you. Who says that? This is Mr. Frank Liga's story. Okay, now I'm not gonna go over the whole story. I'm gonna give you the important parts. What led up to Frank Liga murdering Kevin Gaines, because this is the most important stuff. So he just so happened to be behind another cop, black cop, that he doesn't know as a black cop. He thinks he's a gangbanger. The cop looks over to him, mugging him. Mr. Frank Liga asks, "Hey, is there a problem?" And Mr. Kevin Gaines says, I'm gonna bust a cap in your ass? Who you looking at? I'll beat you up. I'll do this to you. He just automatically threatens him and throws up gang signs. Who is this a movie? Like, who believes that? And you've seen this, and Mr. Frank Liga admitted that he's seen this man before. So you just so happen to be behind this cop that was involved in the assassinations of Biggie Smalls, Tupac Shakur. You're a police officer, and he just so happens to throw gang signs. He just happens to get aggressive with you. He throws up gang signs because he's a gang member. You thought he was a gang member, even though you admitted that you've seen him before. And if you've seen him before, I'm sure he knows you. So if you listen to him run his whole story, now I admit that he stick to his story. He stuck to it this entire time, and he's got it down pat. I believe that he's a good liar. But during the time when this was brought up again, maybe 10 years ago, and everybody was going over the story and saying like, hey, this doesn't make sense and this is crazy. LAPD was not backing him up. And since LAPD was not backing him up, Mr. Frank Liga made a threat that I think went over everybody's heads. And this threat was aimed at the LAPD for not backing him up 10 years or years after the fact of him, of them going over the case again, because he got caught on recording saying some racist remarks in regards to him killing Kevin Gaines, or thought to be racist remarks of him killing Kevin Gaines. So he threatened LAPD because they weren't backing him up. And you know what he threatened LAPD with? The fact that it was a sanctioned hit. In this article by the LA Weekly, it says, cops killing was sanctioned hit. That's a quote by LAPD. I'm sorry, it says, cops killing was a sanctioned hit by LAPD. Reputed Frank Liga memo says. So Frank Liga slipped up. Well, he didn't slip up. He purposely said, hey, since the LAPD ain't backing me up in regards to this murder, I'm just going to let it slip that, hey, it was a sanctioned hit. Now, this was back in June 2014. All this came up because Frank Liga was teaching a class because he became a teacher in regards to teaching young police officers who were on the force. He slipped up and went over the Kevin Gaines murder again, said that he would do it again, and also said some disparaging remarks about black people and other people. So it was deemed as racist, and as that was brought up, someone was recording Mr. Liga. Didn't realize it. Frank didn't realize it, but somebody was recording him, and the recording was given to the news, and all this stuff was brought up again. So while all this stuff is being brought up again, and Frank Liga is like, yo, LAPD is not having my back. You know what? Since you guys are not having my back and holding me down like you're supposed to, I'm a just let it not be known that, hey, I was told to kill him. You guys sanctioned me to kill him because he was a loose end. You sanctioned me to kill him 9 days after Biggie Smalls was assassinated. You guys were about to fire him. He was working with Internal Affairs, and when I say he, I'm talking about Kevin Gaines. These are all the reasons why Kevin Gaines was taken out, I believe. He was about to be fired. He was working with Internal Affairs. Also, I was told, or I did some research and found out that Kevin Gaines left a handprint on Biggie Smalls' car, and that handprint was retrieved. So Kevin Gaines ended up becoming a loose end. After he assisted the co-conspirators in assassinating Tupac as being the mercenary, the hand on the gun. He assisted in the assassination of Biggie Smalls by performing some duties. 9 days after that, he's assassinated, and it is made to look like it is a road rage incident between a white cop and a black gangbanger. This whole thing is just crazy. You know what I mean? On the surface, the media portrayed it as a race thing, but it was much more than that. If they told the truth, it would be like a crumb trail to a massive boulder. If they told the truth, when you dig into this whole thing, it stinks to high heaven of, okay, there's something much larger going here. So Frank Liga slipped up and told the truth that the murder of Kevin Gaines was a purposeful assassination. I mean, how do you not recognize another police officer that you said you've met before? And he knew you. So you mean to tell me that this black police officer threw up blood gang signs at you and told you he was going to put a cap in your ass? Like, nobody talks like that. Even back in the 90s, nobody talked like that. That was just in the movies. So if you listen to him spew his story, it's like he was given the story and drilled it in his head over the years, and he just recounts the same story. And, the story is it sounds ridiculous because it's like a movie. It's literally like a movie. So I encourage you to go to Murder Rap YouTube channel, put Murder Rap Frank Liga in the YouTube search bar, and you will listen to him regurgitate this story, which has major holes in it, which doesn't make sense. But he sticks to it pretty hard. He's stuck to it for years because I believe that he is a professional liar. So, yeah, that's basically the gist of this story. I just wanted to let you guys know that Mr. Gaines, the Tupac's real killer, was taken out, and it was made to look like white cop versus black gangbanger, which once you look under the surface and you ask questions and you dig, is much more than that. So, yeah. Hope you guys have a great night. I'll be coming to you guys with more content. It's your favorite black guy from Nebraska. Yes, there's black people in Nebraska. Please like, share, subscribe. Y'all have a good one.